Okay, howdy folks. Got another video tonight. It's been about a week doing research and a lot of soul searching. I think I've got enough material for a couple of videos, but I want to focus on an interview between J.D. Vance and a gal named Margaret Brennan from Face the Nation that they did about a week ago. Because think I have a take on this that I haven't heard from any of the other pundits that I like to listen to. There's probably somebody out there, but I'm not aware of it, and I think it's important. I think I've got a message that can provide hope to people, and so here we go. So anyway, J.D. Vance was doing this interview with this gal, and she asked him a question. Actually, it was more like it was a question, but it was like phrased like an accusation. But she said, "What is Donald Trump doing today to provide higher wages for the American people?" And I think it's really close to an exact quote. And his response to her was, "Well, the president has only been in office for 5 days, so we're doing what we can." And she wasn't happy with that, so he provided her with an extended or another answer and said that, well, we've increased oil production, and that will translate to reduced prices in the gas station, reduced prices on goods to the American people because of reduced transportation costs. And that shut her up. But that's where that video ended for me, because they went on and he handled her extremely well, I thought. But the thought that went through my head is, well, okay, so that's good, but what else is the president doing for the American people as we speak? And the first thought that came to my mind was the border crisis. The fact that illegal immigrants are being deported, and the fact that the president has beefed up our border to where there's almost no illegal immigration coming into the United States, at least from the southern border. Northern border, I'm not so sure about, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So the majority of the illegal immigrants that were flooding into this country has turned into had turned into a trickle, and now is a flood headed in the other direction. Because Tom Homan has been involved in getting the worst of the worst out of our nation, one way or another, and the president has definitely supported that. But there's another aspect of this that got mentioned a few times but didn't get a lot of coverage, and that's the number of immigrants that are leaving voluntarily. And I watched immigrants getting onto aircraft in southern states, being flown to destinations unknown, countries of origins, Mexico, probably both. But the one that really got to me was a clip that I watched from a local Los Angeles station, and I don't recall the name of it. Oh, and by the way, I don't provide links and stuff like that. I have some pretty severe vision issues. I mean, these notes that I was reading, there it is. That's pretty much what I need to be able to read at this stage of my life. So if I don't provide this stuff, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get away with something. It's just I've got some issues, and it's not hard to find this information. A simple query on whatever search engine you use will probably get you close to it. So that said, back on topic, in this news clip that I watched, it was an aerial view of hundreds of cars, and there was a small pan that went from left to right And I would assume, I never saw the end of that line, and I'm assuming there were thousands of cars. And the reporter said that most of these people are illegal immigrants going into Mexico. So the first question that I asked was, where did they get those cars? And as I did a little bit of homework, I got back to some videos that James O'Keefe, and that would be OMG, O'Keefe Media Group, on YouTube if you want to look him up. If you don't know this guy, I would strongly suggest at least giving him an opportunity to prove himself, because in my view he is one of the best, if not the best, investigative reporter in America today. I'm not kidding. So anyway, moving on, he had a series of videos that he put out on what was done with illegal immigrants that came into the nation, and where did they go and how did they get there. And it was known that there were flights that traveled to points, destinations, mostly liberal states and cities, but there were also buses, and that's where he put his focus. And the prospect or possibility of there being collusion between business owners, large corporations, and the United States government, whoever was calling the policy shots, to provide them with cheap labor. Now, exactly how all that worked, I really don't know, or I did know a little bit, but I don't remember, so I'm not going to move into that. But let's assume for a moment that it is in fact true, because I have yet to hear of James O'Keefe making any accusations about anything that he couldn't absolutely back up. So I trust that source very extremely. That said, I saw a possibility. Oh, and the people who are going to New York, this is the other end of the spectrum. Let's just use New York for example. They were given free room, they were given a stipend or a living wage without having to work at all. They were given free health care. And these were all things that American citizens were being denied. So if you live in New York, and I know New York went a lot closer to turning red than it ever has before, but I would just say to New Yorkers, keep waking up, because these people aren't going to change. And if I have an opportunity in the next video, I'm going to get into this, because I think it's really important for 2 years down the road. That said, here's the point I want to make in regards to the interview that I saw. All those immigrants, they're going south, which is going to create a huge hole in the job market. And a lot of those jobs, or all of those jobs, at this stage of the game should be going to American citizens. That by itself will provide wages that many Americans have not had. And I'm talking particularly to the homeless. There is still hope. Don't give up. And as well as the rest of America. Because better jobs just might be out there if you're willing to look for them. And here's the other half of that. And this is very interesting. Back when COVID first got started, a lot of businesses were hurting for labor because there were many people who refused to get the jab. And pick me on that one. That said, when I retired, I believe it was 2012? Yeah. No, 2014. I retired in 2014. I was making about $16 an hour as a journeyman in this grocery store that I was working in. My grandson shortly after COVID got started, went to work in that grocery store. The same store in that would be 2021. And he was paid more than I had been paid as a journeyman as starting wage. And that's how much his wages went up from mine. Now, I don't remember exactly. I think it was around $18 an hour that he was getting, but I don't know for sure. So don't quote me on that one. But it's an interesting prospect to project that into a job market where the liberals are sure to scream and yell that we need all those illegal immigrants back because there's just not enough people for the jobs that are available. Well, perhaps some federal employees who might be losing their jobs might be interested in some of those jobs in the private sector. They might actually have to work for a living. What's up with that? So, my little joke for the day, or dig, whatever you want to call it. What I'm saying to the American people is, I believe that Donald Trump is truly doing what he can to help all of us. And I think it began with closing the borders, getting rid of the immigrants. And I want to leave all of you as viewers with a sense of hope that things are getting better. You might not be seeing it now. And I know that there are rhinos and Democrats that are trying to slow walk the expulsion of these so-called immigrants, these invaders actually. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how the president is going to react. I feel that he will react quickly and decisively in whatever means he has to, because as Americans, we're desperate. A lot of us have hit the end of the line. And this is my way of saying to you, the American dream is not dead. Not yet. There might only be embers left. But we can fan that into flames with a little bit of fuel. So, my encouragement is to have hope, keep praying for the success of the president and his administration, and that we might have a turnaround and a new day. So that said, have a great day, and God bless you all.